Murder shocks Brentwood. June 12, 1994, 12:10 a.m. Blood pools at 875 South Bundy Drive, LA's elite heart. A dog's bark leads to horror. Nicole Brown Simpson, 35, throat slashed, lies dead. Ronald Goldman, 25, stabbed 20 times, fought to his last breath. A bloody glove, knit cap, and footprint scream crime. O.J. Simpson, Nicole's ex, NFL legend, and Hollywood star, is suspect number one. Hero or monster? Fame, race, and justice collide, splitting America. This case birthed a media storm, exposed domestic violence, and left truth bleeding. Was O.J. guilty? Dive in. Nicole and Ron's story demands answers. At 12:13 a.m., June 12, 1994, LAPD officers responded to a 911 call at Nicole's Brentwood condo. The scene was gruesome. Nicole's throat was cut to the bone, nearly decapitated. Ron Goldman had 20 stab wounds, his knuckles slashed from fighting. Blood trailed to a gate, with drops later DNA matched to O.J. Simpson. A left-handed leather glove, blood-soaked, lay near Ron. A knit cap held dark hairs. Size 12 Bruno Magli shoe prints marked the walkway. Forensics, rushed by crowds, missed securing the scene fully, leaving shoe prints smudged. Neighbors whispered of screams around 10:15 p.m. Nicole's kids, Sydney, 8, and Justin, 5, slept upstairs, oblivious. No forced entry suggested Nicole knew her killer. By 5 a.m., LAPD headed to O.J.'s estate, 2 miles away, noting his history of abuse. What clues pointed to a celebrity? Nicole Brown Simpson, born May 19, 1959, in Frankfurt, Germany, grew up in Laguna Beach, a Golden, California girl. Homecoming princess at Dana Hills High, she radiated warmth. In 1977, at 18, she met O.J. Simpson, 30, at the Daisy nightclub, where she waitressed. Their romance sparked despite O.J.'s marriage. Married in 1985, they had Sydney and Justin, but O.J.'s jealousy darkened their bond. A 1989 911 call captured Nicole's fear. "He's going to kill me," she sobbed, bruised. O.J. pleaded no contest to spousal abuse, serving probation. Divorced in 1992, Nicole thrived, hosting dinner parties, dating, and running with friends like Faye Resnick. Yet, she confided O.J. stalked her, leaving flowers, watching for shadows. Did her freedom provoke a fatal rage? Ronald Lyle Goldman, born July 2, 1968, in Chicago, was raised in LA's suburbs. A tennis player with boyish charm, Ron, 25, worked at Mezzaluna Restaurant in 1994, saving for his dream, a bar named Ink, symbolizing life. Friends called him selfless. He was likely at Nicole's to return her mother's glasses, left at Mezzaluna. His sister, Kim, recalled his drive. His father, Fred, a businessman, beamed with pride. Ron scraped by in LA's hustle, sharing an apartment, but had no enemies. His 20 stab wounds showed he fought fiercely, perhaps shielding Nicole. Tributes poured in. Flowers piled at Mezzaluna. Why did a good deed end in blood? Orenthal James Simpson, born July 9, 1947, in San Francisco's Potrero Hill, defied poverty to become an NFL legend. At USC, he won the 1968 Heisman Trophy, then shattered records with the Buffalo Bills, rushing 2,003 yards in 1973. By 1994, O.J. was a broadcaster, actor, The Naked Gun, and Hertz Pitchman, his Smile brand. Married to Marguerite Whitley, 1967 to 1979, he had 3 kids, with Nicole, 2. Minor arrests, bar fights, speeding, hinted at volatility, but his PR team polished his image. Post-divorce, friends like Robert Kardashian noted O.J.'s obsession with Nicole. On June 12th, he claimed he was home, packing for Chicago. Could America's hero hide a monster? June 13th, 1994, LAPD targeted O.J. At his Rockingham estate, Detective Philip Van Adder, 52, a 27-year veteran, found a bloody right-handed glove matching the crime scene's left-handed one. Detective Tom Lang noted blood drops on O.J.'s driveway, DNA matched to Nicole and Ron. O.J.'s white Ford Bronco held their blood traces. In Chicago, O.J. showed a fresh cut on his left hand, claiming it was from broken glass. His alibi, home alone 9:30 to 11 p.m., faltered. Limo driver Alan Parks saw a figure at 10:55 p.m. Detective Mark Fuhrman, later disgraced, logged the glove. On June 17th, O.J. faced 2 murder charges. Why'd he run? June 17th, 1994, 6:45 p.m. O.J. Simpson, ordered to surrender, fled in a white Ford Bronco driven by Al A.C. Cowlings. LAPD gave chase across LA freeways, a 90-minute, low-speed pursuit watched by 95 million on live TV, eclipsing Super Bowl viewership. Helicopters hovered. Crowds waved signs like "Goat Juice" on overpasses. Cowlings called 911, saying O.J., gun in hand, was suicidal. O.J.'s letter, read by Robert Kardashian, proclaimed innocence, apologizing to Nicole. At 8 p.m., the Bronco reached O.J.'s estate. He surrendered after a tense standoff. Police found a passport, $8,750 cash, and a disguise kit. Was this guilt or despair? O.J.'s defense, the Dream Team, included Robert Shapiro, Johnny Cochran, F. Lee Bailey, Alan Dershowitz, Barry Scheck, and Peter Neufeld, costing $3 million. Shapiro led strategy. Cochran honed racial narratives. Scheck attacked DNA. Prosecutors Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden, underfunded, relied on DNA and abuse history. The defense alleged LAPD's racist frame-up, citing post-Rodney King distrust. Media swarmed. 2,500 journalists camped at the courthouse. Judge Lance Ito, navigating TV cameras, sequestered the jury for 266 days, starting January 1995. Tensions flared. Shapiro clashed with Cochran style. Could prosecutors pierce O.J.'s fame? From January to October 1995, the O.J. trial became a global spectacle. Over 2,500 journalists covered it, with 20 TV networks broadcasting live, a first for a criminal trial. CNN's ratings soared. Court TV launched careers. Tabloids like National Enquirer ran lurid headlines. O.J.'s secret diary, or Nicole's lover exposed. Talk shows dissected O.J.'s smile, Marcia Clark's hair. Public obsession grew. Bars hosted verdict watch parties. 95% of Americans followed, per Gallup. Defense leaked stories to sway opinion. Prosecutors stayed silent, bound by ethics. Live coverage amplified errors, like Fuhrman's tapes, fueling distrust. Did media distort justice for ratings? January 24th, 1995, the trial opened in LA's Superior Court, televised to millions. Marcia Clark's opening framed O.J. as a jealous abuser, citing Nicole's 1989 911 call, "He's going to kill me." Johnny Cochran countered, LAPD framed a black star, exploiting racial bias. DNA linked O.J.'s blood to the scene, Nicole and Ron's to the Bronco. But defense challenged LAPD's handling. Blood samples sat unrefrigerated, risking contamination. Witnesses included Denise Brown, sobbing over Nicole's bruises, and Cato Kalin, noting a thump at O.J.'s estate at 10:45 p.m. Limo driver Alan Parks saw a figure at 10:55 p.m. Was DNA enough to convict? Detective Mark Fuhrman, who found a Rockingham glove, became the defense's weapon. In August 1995, tapes emerged of Fuhrman using racial slurs 41 times, boasting of planting evidence in past cases. On the stand, he denied bias, but took the fifth when asked about tampering in O.J.'s case. The jury, 8 black, 2 white, 1 Hispanic, 1 Asian, knew LAPD's 1992 Rodney King brutality. Cochran painted Fuhrman as a racist rogue, tainting the glove's legitimacy. Prosecutors insisted DNA stood alone, but jurors' trust waned. Fuhrman later pleaded no contest to perjury, retiring. Did one cop's lies derail the case? June 15, 1995, Christopher Darden's gamble backfired. O.J. tried on the crime scene gloves in court. They seemed too tight, O.J. wincing. Cochran later argued, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Defense claimed blood and storage shrank the gloves. Prosecutors said O.J. exaggerated the struggle, wearing latex underneath. Barry Scheck cited lab errors. 0.5% contamination risk in DNA tests. Jurors, already doubting LAPD, fixated on the glove. 58 prosecution witnesses, including forensic experts, couldn't erase that image. Alan Parks' testimony, O.J. absent at 10:40 p.m., was overshadowed. Could a glove undo DNA? The jury, 8 black, 2 white, 1 Hispanic, 1 Asian, mostly working class, endured 266 days of sequestration, isolated in a hotel, no newspapers, limited TV. Tensions flared. 3 jurors were dismissed for misconduct, e.g., note passing. Post-Rodney King, black jurors distrusted LAPD, recalling 1992's riots. White jurors leaned toward DNA evidence. Foreman Anise Aschenbach, a black woman, kept order, but racial divides mirrored LA's. Jurors faced death threats, public scrutiny. After 128 witnesses and 45,000 pages of evidence, they deliberated just 4 hours. Was their verdict rushed by exhaustion or conviction? October 3rd, 1995, 10:07 a.m., Judge Ito read the verdict. Not guilty. 150 million watched. America's biggest TV moment. Cheers erupted in black communities, seeing a blow against LAPD racism. The Brown and Goldman families wept, feeling justice failed. Denise Brown stormed out. Fred Goldman vowed to fight on. Polls showed 70% of black Americans backed the verdict, 70% of whites disagreed, per Gallup. O.J. smiled, hugging Cochran. Outside, L.A. braced for riots, but calm held. O.J. vowed to find a real killer, a promise unmet. Did the jury judge facts or fury? In 1997, the Brown and Goldman families sued O.J. in Santa Monica's civil court, seeking wrongful death damages. With no cameras, a mostly white jury, and a lower burden, preponderance of evidence, the case shifted. O.J. testified, his charm crumbling under Daniel Petrocelli's cross-examination, contradicting prior statements. No Fuhrman tapes distracted. On February 4th, 1997, O.J. was found liable, owing $33.5 million, $8.5 million compensatory, $25 million punitive. He paid little, hiding assets in Florida. Fred Goldman said, "It's for Ron, not money." Did civil justice mend broken hearts?
Years, a little over 2.5 years, and we finally have justice for Ron and Nicole. Our family is grateful for a verdict of responsibility, which is all we ever wanted, and we have it.
OJ's post-acquittal life collapsed. Shunned by Hollywood, he moved to Florida, living off untouchable pensions. In 2007, he orchestrated an armed robbery in Las Vegas, stealing memorabilia he claimed was his, with 5 accomplices. Surveillance showed OJ yelling, "Nobody leaves." Convicted in 2008 on 12 counts, he served 9 years, paroled in 2017 after a viral hearing, grinning. His 2007 book, If I Did It, a hypothetical murder account, was seized by the Goldmans. OJ died April 10, 2024, at 76, tweeting defiantly via @TheRealOJ32. Was his ruin Justice's echo? In 2025, the O.J. Simpson case endures. Nicole and Ron's murders spurred the 1994 Violence Against Women Act. Yet 1 in 4 women face abuse per CDC. Call 1-800-799-7233 for help, honoring Nicole's cries. Racial divides persist. Ex-posts at True Crime Talk 2024 debate OJ's guilt. FBI's 2023 hate crime data echoes LA's 1992 scars. The trial birthed 24/7 news and true crime podcasts, shaping culture. The Browns and Goldman's advocate, with Ron's foundation for justice. OJ's ex-taunts faded, but truth lingers. Is justice a verdict or a mirror? Comment below, like, subscribe, honor Nicole and Ron. Truth keeps them alive.